Don't ask for the perfect combination of board feel and support, demand it. Or at least that's what Vans says on their description page on their website. Okay, so these are the AVE Pros, and as you can see, they're a little worn, a little tore up, because I've been skating these shoes for the past 4 or 5 months now. And this video is just gonna be me talking about my experience with these shoes and just give you some recommendations in case you're looking into buying these for yourself. So based off the description on Vans' website, these shoes, at least in their opinion, are the best skate shoes they've ever made, hands down. They have every single technology that they own and have a copyright to is thrown into this one shoe. The upper of the shoe is made with a multitude of different materials, suede, textiles, mesh, and some synthetic-y material. This shoe also has a Duracap, which is the layer under this piece right here, which is where you're doing most of your flicking. It just, helps this last longer, this portion of the shoe, this toe part. And along with the Duracap, they also have a rapid weld, no-sew technology. And honestly, I was searching their website. I can't really find any details about this rapid weld, no-sew technology, but I assume it has something to do with the lower being like kind of glued on to this, as well as this area right here, this toe cap, not being sewn or stitched into this meshy material. There's not a stitch here, but in the back there is a stitch. You can see there's a stitch there. I don't know if you can see it on camera right now, but in the front there is no stitch. So I assume that's some kind of adhesive that keeps everything locked in place without having to sew it. Which, if you're using sandpaper grip tape, is a good thing, because a lot of times when you're flicking your foot, the stitches come undone and the shoe starts falling apart. So that's really good news for this flick area, that there's no stitching there, because you can just flick to your heart's content and it's not gonna come undone, which is nice. On the inside of the shoe, they offer this Luxe Liner inner lining, which is basically kind of like a sock on the inside. This kind of reminds me of like a soccer cleat or boot. If you're familiar with cleats or anything like that, that's kind of what it feels like when you put it on. The toe is like its own separate piece that wraps all the way around on the inside. So when you slip it on, it is super snug and tight around your foot. So if you're into that and you want that tight, snug fit, again, in my opinion, similar to a cleat, then this is gonna be a shoe for you. And the final piece of shoe technology they talk about is the Vans Ultimate Waffle Construction, which is the part of the outsole and then part of the insole as well. The part that, is hitting the ground is supposed to help with impact and board feel. And from what I can tell, all these things coming together are combining quite nicely to give a very solid skate shoe. And now all that stuff I just mentioned, again, that's all like the patented technology that Vans owns, all in this one shoe. So you would think with all of this tech, this shoe would be the best shoe that Vans has ever made. And they're certainly talking like it is. And honestly, I kind of agree. It's one of the best shoes I've ever skated. I actually was looking at reviews of these shoes several years ago before I even wanted to buy them, just to check them out. Because when they came out, they were pretty popular. It was one of the most expensive shoes Vans has made in a while. They were $100 when they first came out. So I was looking into getting them, and I just kind of put it off until they were on sale. But most reviews I saw of the shoes were actually pretty negative. One of the biggest reviews I saw was of John Hill. John Hill skated these shoes. He did not like the way they fit. They kept flying off his feet. I know everybody's feet are slightly different, but for him personally, it didn't work. I also saw George Poulos's shoe review, and if I remember correctly, I don't think he liked them very much either. So honestly, I was kind of skeptical getting them myself, but I decided to bite the bullet. I got them on sale, I think for like $85, and so far, I actually really enjoy the shoe. If you're new to the channel and you don't know, I actually skate rubber grip tape. I don't skate sandpaper grip tape. And the part of the shoe that really interested me the most was this synthetic material on the top, because the rubber grip tape works really well against the rubber sole of shoes. And that's how the flick works. That's how it gets friction. So I was hoping that this synthetic material would work the same way, so that it would give me even more grip, because this isn't canvas or suede. This is some kind of rubbery, like I said, synthetic material, and it works. It's not ripping, it's not tearing. It actually seems to be a little bit more durable than canvas or suede. This is my flick foot, and you can kind of see a little bit of damage right here, a little bit. But for the most part, it's very much intact. It's even more intact than a typical shoe, even with rubber grip tape. So I think it's gonna last me quite a long time. The entire middle portion of the shoe, so this entire part all the way around to the other side where like the meat of your foot is all mesh. And I think this is a really good thing. I'm a pretty sweaty person, so especially in the summer, this really helps my foot air out. But there is one big downside to this. In about the second or third skate session, I did like a full split and my foot like dragged across the ground kind of like this. And as you can see right here, it created a giant hole in the shoe, and that's kind of a big bummer. If that happened sliding across a skate park ground concrete, so it's pretty smooth, it wasn't rough by any means, it was at the skate park. I can't imagine what this would do if you were skating it with sandpaper grip, because this area right here is kind of right in the flick section where you flick. So I feel like that would get ripped to shreds pretty easily, and then your shoe would be out of commission, I mean, within a couple of skate sessions. So I don't think that's really good. Because a lot of times with heel flips flick kind of in this area, not quite up on the toe. And all this back here is mesh. So if you're heel flipping or anything like that, you're gonna wreck that part of the shoe. I honestly don't think I could recommend these because of that mesh if you're using sandpaper, or honestly if you just skate a lot of street, because I think they're just going to get ripped to shreds as soon as you try to skate them out there. Any kind of bail where your shoe drags across the ground, it's just going to get ripped up. Again, this was from one fall. It ripped through almost 3 layers of the mesh all the way down to that tongue portion that's all connected together, which is kind of annoying but fortunately it's on my right foot, which isn't really my flick foot, so this shoe actually doesn't get a lot of damage anyway, so I'm working with it. Overall style and design of the shoe I really like. It's a really simple silhouette. It's not the traditional Vans silhouette, I would say. It feels a little more rounded in my opinion, and this shoe is a little wider also in my opinion than some other skate shoes. To me it seems pretty fat, pretty wide, so I think if you have a wider foot, this shoe and other Vans shoes would be good for you. I'm a sucker for white shoes. I've said that multiple times. The last several pair of skate shoes I've owned have all been white shoes, so I love this colorway. The blue sole was a little iffy for me at first, but I've grown into it. It looks pretty good. I don't really like the red accents. Like, it comes with a backup pair of laces and they're like this bright red color. I'm never going to use these. It is just ugly. I don't really like the red aglets or any of the red aspects, but the blue and white colorway portion, I'm digging it, really like it. When I first got the shoe, they were pretty stiff, even though like literally half the upper of the shoe is made out of mesh. I thought they'd be a little less rigid, but they were pretty stiff. I think it's due to all the synthetic material up here and in the heel as well. But over time they have broken in, and right now they feel really good. Again, I'm just gonna kind of equate them to a soccer cleat because I'm a big soccer fan. I play a lot of soccer, and that's just what it feels like to me. They feel snug and tight around my foot without being too tight. I didn't get any blisters, and the heel portion, which a lot of times the heels in shoes starts to collapse, but because of this synthetic material, it is very stiff, very rigid, and the heel is very much intact. It's not gonna compress at all, and I just really like that, and I honestly really like these shoes. Quick side note that I've been calling them the AVE Pros because I just see AVE and I just call it AVE. I actually think it's just AVE Pros because apparently these shoes are somebody's signature like pro model shoe that I did not know. AVE actually stands for Anthony Van England, and personally, I have no idea who this is. I had to look it up to see who this was, and he's just a skater that skates for Vans, and this is his signature shoe, the AVE Pros. That's gonna wrap up this video of the AVE or the AVE Pro Vans skate shoe. Again, Vans really do think that these are the best shoes on the planet. If you look at the description on their website of the shoe, it just talks it up on another level. I think if you get them, you won't be disappointed. I would probably wait for them to go on sale. I think spending $100+ on a pair of shoes is a little pricey. It's a little much, but let me know in the comments if you've ever skated a pair of these. If you absolutely hated the shoes or you absolutely loved the shoes, please let me know down in the comments. I'm sure plenty of other people that click on this video would love to know different thoughts and opinions, especially when they're going to drop some money on something that's kind of pricey. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more shoe reviews or more skateboarding product reviews, I'll have that linked somewhere up there. Check that out or at the end of this video. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.